Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Tyler and I just do consistent content, all things related hockey and the NHL overall. And yes, the New York Islanders defeated the Washington Capitals 4-0 in quite an impressive fashion. Even though the shots weren't necessarily there, the defensive and overall game surely was. So that's what I'll be discussing with you today. My thoughts on this series and what is next for these two teams going forward in both the New York Islanders and the Washington Capitals. But are you new to the channel? If so, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. If you end up enjoying this kind of hockey content, thank you all so much for everyone that's been subscribing and following me thus far. It means so much to me. And to the people that are new here, make sure you hit that button if you end up liking this kind of hockey content. Help us reach 1K, and that way I can do live streams doing commentary on various things like playoff games or regular season games, things leading up to the AHL draft and the draft itself possibly. So make sure to hit that button, like I said, if you enjoy this kind of hockey content. But without further ado, let's get right into this video. If you've been following my channel, and if you have seen in particular my bold predictions video for this 2020 Stanley Cup playoffs, then you know I was right. I had the Washington Capitals losing in this first round of NHL playoffs, and that is exactly what happened here. The New York Islanders winning this game 4-0, really was 2-0. They scored 2 empty netter goals, a shutout by the former Washington Capital and Semifinals, and wow, was this series something. The Washington Capitals just simply were not on the same page as the Islanders. The Islanders look strong going into this series, of course, having a good qualifying round, beating the Florida Panthers, and I believe it was 6 games, was it? I'm already forgetting. But regardless, this was such an impressive series by the Islanders, and some guys really stepped up with the likes of Anthony Beauvillier and their main guy, of course, in Matt Barzal. If you look at Beau, he had another 2 goals in this series, 6 goals in the playoffs already, quite impressive, and I always laugh when I see him scoring because I've always admired his game, and look, I am a Rangers fan, but I really admire a lot of these guys on this Islanders team and wish him nothing but the best going forward. And Beau in particular has always stood out to me. He's not just a Rangers killer, but he has been fantastic in this year's postseason. And my brother even said going into this year's Stanley Cup playoffs that he believed Anthony Beauvillier would be a dark horse to lead the league in playoffs. And look, and when it comes to goal scoring, and he has done just that with 6 goals thus far. Truly remarkable, really impressive. I wonder if he's going to keep up this pace. I really think he can, but he is a huge unsung hero for this New York Islanders team that has desperately been needing the goal scoring. And then Matty Barzal had 7 points in the series as well, and then Josh Bailey had 10, including an empty netter goal here tonight. Really awesome all around. But then when you get to the Washington Capitals, John Carlson, who very well could win the Vezina this year, had 6 points. Ovi only had 5, including 4 goals, but really did not look like the Ovi of old that we have seen in this past postseason runs, especially. No one really seemed to have it on this Capitals team. The structure just simply wasn't there, and Evgeny Kuznetsov was the 3rd guy in points for them with 5 points. The New York Islanders outscored the Washington Capitals in this series. Get ready for this, 17-8. That is ridiculous. A Capitals team that has so much firepower on this roster, you would expect more from them. That was simply not happening in this series. The Washington Capitals, who don't have nearly as good of a defense as they've had in recent cup run years, I should say, going all the way for a deep playoff run or winning the Stanley Cup just a couple years ago. And the goaltending led by Braden Holtby just wasn't there. Holtby on his contract here really looks shaky in the series, and while I don't blame him for every goal, it is definitely leaving you suspect as to what will the future hold for Holtby in Washington. I think if you're the Capitals, you do not re-sign this guy by any means. It's not a slight on Holtby at all. I think he's a very strong goaltender, but I do believe he's hit his peak in the NHL already, and he is definitely going to command a big possible 7-year contract similar to what Bobrovsky received in Florida, and we all know how that's gone so far. So I think it's in the Capitals' best case scenario to go with their guy in Ilya Samsonov, who looks like the next big thing goaltending for them, leading them into the future, not having to worry about a big contract that they really can't handle for the Capitals' sake. So I expect Holtby to walk, and I really don't think this is going to be good for him going forward given his play from this playoff run. But then you come to the New York Islanders. Barry Trotz, the head coach that led the Washington Capitals into the Stanley Cup victory just a couple years ago with the Islanders, has had some good playoff runs, and it looks like the Islanders could definitely be a dark horse to make some noise this year. I would be lying if I said that I didn't doubt them a little bit, because I definitely did. I felt unsure about them, especially in the second half of the season. They were definitely spiraling downward and going into that wild card race, so I really was not sure what to expect from this Islanders team, but they have definitely proven proven me wrong. I give them plenty of props. Between Matt Barzal really standing up for them, Anthony Beauvillier looking great, Anders Lee finally getting on the score sheet, and he was one of those guys where I had 5 guys I even did a video on as to players that really have the most to prove in this year's playoffs, and Anders Lee, the captain, was one of them. You know, he's been in plenty of playoff games in the past and has like no goals, no points really to show for it, but he's finally putting up the points for them, which I think is huge. And then you have other guys in that depth, and that defense has looked solid. A better overall defense than this Washington Capitals team, and that was evident in this series. So huge hats off to the New York Islanders. Now you're going to the second round of NHL playoffs, the Eastern Conference Semifinals, and I do believe they will be playing the 3rd seed coming out of that. So I wonder who that is going to be. But let me know in the comments below. Islanders fans, how hyped are you, and who do you want to play in that second round of NHL playoffs? And Capitals fans, I know you're upset. I understand it. I personally just did not have this good feeling with this Caps team all year long. I don't really know what it was. I know the defense was looking suspect at times, and the goaltending, I just don't trust Holtby. And look what happened here. So not a I told you so type thing, but it looks like this was very well the last game Braden Holtby will ever play for the Washington Capitals. But time will tell. We'll see what happens. Caps, they still have a core group. They're one of the older teams in the AHL. Maybe they mix things up. Maybe they get rid of their head coach. I'm not sure. But I definitely expect some moves to be made going into next year because they still have the weapons to make things happen, make noise in playoffs going forward. But I really think that's all I have to say for this video. So thank you all so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on not just this video, but this series? Regardless if you're a Caps, Islanders fan, or just a hockey fan overall, I would love to hear your thoughts, so make sure to let me know in the comments below. Thank you all so much for checking out this video. Check out my previous ones regarding the playoffs and their summaries as well. Have them right down here below, and I very well could have one more up if Dallas does prevail in the series against the Calgary Flames tonight, so we'll see what happens there. But thank you all again, guys. I really appreciate it. Hit like and subscribe if you like this kind of hockey content, and I'll be back very, very soon.